The Big Ten can become the best conference in college football by making sure that its smaller teams, its bottom feeders, care. And that relative to the rest of college football, its bottom feeders are average teams. This is what the SEC does. Their lower third, their lower quartile, their lower half, whatever way you want to divide the pie, is still high quality pie. It's still rich, creamy, flavorful, sweet pumpkin pie. That worse half, worse whatever number you want to use to divide the pie up into. The worst portion is still high quality. Obviously, the top tier is high quality. The Big Ten's top tier is the best tier, the tastiest tier, the creamiest crop in all of the sport. But its worst tier, and even some of its middle tiers, are pretty ugly. There's some mold growing on that food. Some of it's just cold dead. Like, look at Wisconsin. And they're keeping Luke Fickell. Maryland's keeping Mike Locksley. You think Rutgers, until recently, cared about football? Ask Schiano about NIL. He says they never really tried it. UCLA is kind of a dead program. Does Northwestern care about football? Does Purdue care about football all that much? The lower third has to step up if the Big Ten wants to become college football's best conference. The top also needs to keep winning. If the lower third rises up, if the lower half, again, however many teams are in that category, if they rise up but the SEC stay the same and the SEC's top starts winning again and dominating, then the Big Ten's upgraded, but they're not the best. So those two things have to happen. It used to be the Big Ten's worst and top were not the nation's best, and they were overall a pretty mediocre conference. There was a time in the 2010s where the ACC, and for the parts of the 2000s too, where the ACC was probably the stronger conference. Like when Florida State was on top, and you had Clemson do well, like early 2010s when Jimbo was at his peak and Dabo was arriving at his. The SEC was probably in that conversation. The Big 12, there was a time when the Big 12 was better than the Big 10. Times have changed. Now, it can be the same thing for the Big Ten again. They cannot lose their edge at the top, where I think they have the best cultures, the overall best coaching, and the best development at the top. They cannot lose that. They have to retain that or even improve upon it, even though they're already the best. And they have to have your Purdue, Northwestern, UCLA, Maryland, Rutgers, etc., Michigan State, Wisconsin. They have to step up their quality of play on the field. Keep the elite coaches too. That's another factor of the top continuing to win. Make sure that Dan Lanning and Ryan Day and Curt Cignetti, whoever Penn State hires if he's a good hire, Lincoln Riley with USC, Jerome Moore at Michigan if he pans out, Matt Rule at Nebraska if he pans out, keep them home. This channel will make you a college football expert and help you enjoy watching games and make more accurate predictions. So what are you waiting for? Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment your thoughts, and watch the video all the way through so that you can get the full package. And check the description and pinned comment for more ways to help yourself and this channel. Don't even let them go to the NFL. Make them enjoy this place so much that they don't want to leave. And level up in recruiting, conference-wide. Some of the top programs can afford to do that, but USC's come along in that department. Ohio State's gotten more aggressive in recruiting. Michigan has. Oregon under Lanning has been a maverick in their own right at recruiting. But I'm talking about Nebraska. Don't have the 100th best recruiting class again in the month of November. Don't do it. For Wisconsin, don't have fewer than 15 commits in the month of November. For Washington, I think they're doing a pretty good job, all things considered. I mean, Minnesota is. For Indiana, keep building your reputation and start signing consistent top 25, top 20, maybe even a top 15 class or even a top 10 one at some point with how successful you've been with Curt Cignetti. For Penn State, rebound and make sure that you recruit as well as you did under Franklin, or preferably better than some of his most recent recruiting classes. Level up in recruiting, in NIL, in using the portal, modernize across the conference, not just at the top where they've been obviously dominant. And finally, this is complicated. I do not have an answer here, but this definitely plays into the SEC being the best conference and the Big Ten while getting closer still not being there. Down south just has better high school football. Part of it's because they care about it more. Part of it's the weather. And, the hotter it is, the bigger you are. Typically, the bigger things are, the animals get bigger, the trees, the plants get bigger. The humans, if they're as adequately fed as people in the north, will also get bigger, stronger, faster. It's just how things work in nature typically. There's other things too, like some political stuff, historical stuff. Some people just have a preference for warmer weather, for example, but a lot of it is a care factor and also the political factor too. I'm not educated to speak on any political factors or fundraising factors or that stuff, but Big Ten fans just simply caring about college football more, and then the fans of those kids succeeding in high school, and the parents care more about their kids' success in high school football, that will lead to better high school football in the Midwest, in California, on the West Coast, in the Northeast, in the DMV area, where Big Ten schools are located, and that will translate to better talent that is also kept home more often than not. That is how the Big Ten can become the best conference in college football. You level up in recruiting, you make your bottom schools care as much as they can relative to the top schools. Your top schools continue to dominate, and you keep the elite culture and coaches you currently have at the top that are among the best in the sport. Thank you for watching. It's my mission on College Football with Sam to make you the most informed, knowledgeable, and entertained fan as possible. We aren't perfect, but we hit the nail on the head more often than we hit our thumb with the hammer. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and if you're here, you've probably already watched the whole video. So thank you for doing those things.